Good morning. I guess we can say this is the start of week 7 now. Week 6 was a bit of a wash. My dad had visited. There was just a ton of factors that stopped me from getting to the mat, and just overall lots of depression, lots of negative feelings, lots of self-sabotage, lots of attachment issues popping up this week. And so I didn't really want to film. I didn't really want to be outward. I kind of just wanted to stay inward. So today we're starting fresh. We're getting back on the horse. That's been my mantra in the few practices I have gotten to the mat. Getting back on the horse has been the mantra. And so now we're here for week 7. We're gonna go back, gonna do a yoga flow for beginners with Yoga with Adriene. I'll pop the link in the description. Just really trying. I keep getting met with so much resistance when I come to the mat or when I think about filming or editing and things like that. So I am going to only make one video per week now. And so instead of week 1 or like week X day 1 and week X day 7, we're gonna make it like spread out over 2 weeks so that I can actually see maybe a little bit more of a difference between 2 weeks. As I've realized, some of this stuff is taking time. You don't always see progress within a week. And so maybe if I stretch it out over 2 weeks, I will actually see progress within the videos and also lessen the load of stress. So just trying to, I'll still check in at least once a week though. So welcome to week 7. This is a beginner's flow and my reaction to it. Thank you. So this is a video that I have already done a reaction to, so I'm going to repeat it again. It was something that I felt comfortable with and felt good to like get back into it with this. She has us sit in Sukhasana, or the accomplished. It's just sitting on a block, which is always really nice, so that if you're having trouble sitting upright, the block takes some of the weight off your hips and lower back. And this video, she spends a lot of time just getting into the practice with breath and sitting, and for that I appreciate. Tell my back is hunched. I've been hunched almost all week. I've been in a shame spiral, and yeah, I think just being around people that were in my childhood bring out not the best version of me, and there's lingering emotional effects on that. All right, I think we start the flow with some basic cat-cows. And this flow is really breath-based, which is really nice. I think almost all vinyasas are, in a way, breath-based. And you breathe in poses that expand the volume of your lungs and create more volume for your lungs. And you exhale in poses where your lungs are being more compressed or there's less volume for them to expand. So exhale, curved up, inhale, curved down. Exhale, inhale. So this pose is in the beginning, the first week video that I ever did. And I still see like a major dip in my lower back doing this. And maybe my hip is not squared each time I do it. But it feels stronger to do this, I will say. Like holding it feels stronger. Yeah, that side, my hip stays down a little bit. My hip stays down, but my leg, the back of my leg kind of goes up a little bit higher. And I'm keeping my arms at ears height. This exercise is actually similar to one that I got in physical therapy, so obviously really good for lower back and hips. Child's pose. I'm so sorry. My mat is so dirty, and so are my pants for some reason, so that's pretty nasty, but I'm not gonna refilm this. Okay, and in the video, she just says, kind of like stretch out, like curve, like from the center of your stomach, pull out of child's pose, but I like doing the modified push-ups. Now that I know that I can do one full push-up, I'm like working up to 2. So I could do a better job still curving my back into the push-up. The first downward dog. That looks good to me for the first one. And I move around a lot. I was not fully warmed up, but yeah, I move around a lot. The first downward dog, as everyone should, you gotta shake it out. And here's where she really focuses on breath work. So in vinyasa, I feel like this is a very, very common part of the flow, or it is the core part of the flow. And, you know, it's like forward fold, halfway lift, rise, down, plank, cobra, into downward dog, walk to the top of your mat, etc. And you flow through that with a specific breath pattern. I have been feeling so shitty that I've just been shaking it out a lot of the time. Just trying to shake it out. Yeah, so you breathe in as you rise. Yeah, my camera just can't capture it, but this is just like a mountain pose. Yeah, and I stood here for a while. That was nice. And she set us up so when you're standing in mountain pose, you do want to like tuck your hips inward for that support, and you can activate your stomach that way, so it's more of like an active stretch instead of just standing there, which I don't like to, because I'm like, oh, this is a break. But I think the more I can engage my core, the easier the rest becomes. So even in mountain pose, even sitting, like activating your core is really important. Even in halfway lift, activating the core. Ragdoll, I let it all go. You breathe out and you let it all go. Whoosh. And I've been into bending my knees more while rising and falling. I think that helps with, sometimes my knees get very tired. So, especially when you're doing lunges and warriors, things like that, your knees can have impact. So just bending them more often and not forcing straight legs where you don't need to. Yeah, pad the knee for a high lunge. And yeah, I feel like now rising for the lunge feels a lot better. I can do that with pretty good balance. That triangle pose always hurts the back of the leg, and I still think my heel that's in front needs to be further away from the knee that's down, to get a deeper stretch there. Back to forward fold, rise all the way up, breathe out, breathe in, coming back down, breathe out, let it go, breathe in, halfway lift, breathe out, forward fold. Do low lunge on the other side. Rise up, engage the core. Yep, triangle pose on the other side. Still really, yeah, my hips, I would say my lower back hasn't been in that much pain. I've also been walking a lot more. Like I take walks during lunch breaks and things, so that loosens up the lower back quite a bit, and when it's looser it's able to flex more, and then you can strengthen it more. But I would say the pain has been pretty low since I've added walking more frequently into routine. But stretching and strengthening is definitely really important too. I'm still super tight. I think here's just some standing, like side stretches you can't really see. I should eventually get 2 cameras, but that's so much more editing. The room I use is just too small for like a full picture, I think. Maybe I can make it work. I'm not sure yet. Okay. Now we've got high plank. I think my hips can be down a little bit more when my back... This actually did not hurt my back today, which is great. Yeah, so I think it's exhale to plank, inhale to downward dog. Doing this a bunch of times. This is great core work. Slowly lowering down into cobra. And I think I registered this while I was doing it. Again, no flexibility in my lower back going upwards or like, yeah, creating the shape in the backwards direction. That's just not in the cards for me right now. It's something I'm working on, obviously. But yeah, I think like when you're in cobra, like definitely having your lower back and hips kind of like clenched and your feet down, pressing against the mat is really helpful and avoids injury. None of these poses are really that passive sometimes when you think about it. And there's so many little muscle groups that are activated. This is dragonfly. Picking at a split end. How present am I? To plank, down, up to cobra. Using my fingertips, that's good. Plank, up, downward dog. Breathe in, leg up. Breathe out, leg down. Dragonfly on the other side. Yeah, and she actually has us going in and out of dragonfly pose, which is more of a workout than just holding a twist. It's nice. Yeah, and I was like, yes, because once you start to lie down or the instructor tells you to lie down, it's time to like slow the practice down and yeah, just slow it down more, and it's like so exciting. This, she has us do a couple lower bridges, which is really nice because I think in previous videos I've really tried to push myself with bridges, and so I think I just have to start small. Tuck those hips in before you lift the rest of them. Tuck the pelvis inward, and not, because eventually I kind of want my body to be able to kind of, this is it flat and this is it going inward, kind of creating the backwards curve. We're just not there yet. So we got a supine twist, an amazing come down pose. Sometimes when you're that close to Shavasana and you got to do the supine twists, it's like, I don't want to do it. But it feels so good once you get in the pose because you know that the big rest is coming. Love this too as well. The instructor doesn't have you do butterfly legs, but I like to do that as my last pose if it's possible in the flow for before Shavasana. I think that's just because I'm a tight hips girly, so. That feels so good to like really give in to the ground, give in to the block. Oh my God. And like really, your head is heavy if you think about it. So giving your neck a break or giving your body a break from holding your head and really leaning in and massaging that neck that keeps you tall and proud all day. And the more I practice, so this is back into Shavasana, the more I practice, the more I realize like I don't want to really modify Shavasana. Sometimes I can put my legs up over the bolsters that I have. That is nice. Sometimes use a blanket, but this is really like low stimulation, body down. I could have kept the block under my neck. You can do it however it's comfortable, but she said but just I like to just keep it laying straight down these days, but that can change too. everything. Thank you to the instructor, thank you to myself for freaking showing up even though I didn't really want to. All right. Hey, we did it. We got back to the mat. We did a flow. I feel pretty good right now because of it. I really love some of the resting. I love using the block to massage the back of the neck. It's so frustrating to keep coming, like to have resistance keep coming up when I know that, like, I feel like I'm breathing better right now. I can feel the blood in my like really poorly circulated legs. It's just, why is there so much resistance all the time to do the things that are good for you? I genuinely don't know. This like self-sabotage thing is crazy. But we did it, and I'm fighting, or I'm walking uphill alongside this battle. You know, there's a point where it's like, okay, maybe it's your body trying to tell you something, but I feel great right now, and I think it's more in my head than it is a resistance out of fatigue or overextension. Anyway, thanks for being here. I'll catch you in about a week doing the same flow, and yeah, thanks.